YouTube, welcome back to the first Severn class lifeboat update for a very long time. So I'm welcoming you back to the state of my desk. This is what it now looks like, but work has restarted on the Severn class lifeboat. I know a few of you are really interested in this and have been asking how long till the next update. I'm really sorry it hasn't had an update. It's been so long. That's just been because over summer I've not been doing so much on the model side of things. I've been out and about, going to heritage lines and stuff. And I know it is now halfway through winter again, but I've been doing a lot on the layout and other stuff. So excuses, I know, but we are now back, and I'm going to tidy up the desk. And then we can get on with it. Okay, so I'm back and it's painted. It's painted? What am I talking about? It's back and it's tidy. I've not painted the desk, I've tidied the desk. And it's been a couple of seconds for you. For me, it's been well over half an hour. And I've just watched back my last update, which is cringy to say the least, as my voice hadn't properly sort of broken at that point. So if you're following these updates many years after finished building this boat, I'm going to sound quite different to you in a very short space of time, but it has been well over a year now since I started building it, so I really need to get a move on. Anyway, so yes, I've started with my standard shot, and the first thing you'll notice is the hull has started to be painted. Now this is just undercoat. Obviously it's a much too lighter blue. If you look at the box, it's much darker blue. That's also gloss, and this is matte. So this is undercoat, and the same with the red, it's undercoat. However, the red will stay matte. If you look at real photos of Severns out of the water, or any class of lifeboat out of the water, any with anti-fouling paint with a red bottom, are a sort of off dark red matte sort of colour. So this is roughly the right colour. It's going to be a much darker red. The camera's picking up quite darkly, roughly the right colour actually. But in real life it's much brighter red. So that's going to be getting a coat of Humbrol 100, which is a red-brown, according to Humbrol. I'm going to see how that goes. If that doesn't work, I'll find another colour. But yeah, that's not going to be the colour. Humbrol tells you to do it gloss bright red, which is completely wrong. Although it does look quite nice, but it wouldn't be very useful in real life. You'd end up with all sorts of seaweed and stuff growing all over it. So that wouldn't be brilliant, which is why it's that colour. However, obviously the blue being above the waterline, so that is a nice dark, deep sort of gloss blue. So that's going to be Humbrol Gloss 25, I think, is the number. I'm not entirely sure what the number is, but it will be their gloss dark blue, which I think is midnight blue or something they call it. But it happens to be almost perfectly the right colour for this. So yeah, that's the hull. Obviously this is the fendering along here. That will be painted black. What you'll then notice is on the deck we've gone backwards a bit. There used to be, or there was in my last update, I'm just trying to find it in all my bits and bobs in the background here, these bits of fence, or not these bits of fence, there were other bits of fence, here of which is one, that went here, and there was another one that was symmetrical that went there, and there was also the anchor here. They sort of broke off / I took them off to make sure they didn't break completely, because they were only very weakly glued on, purely because it's moving around so much. The desk itself isn't actually the safest place to keep the model when I'm not working on it. Sometimes I put it on a shelf which is about a metre above the desk, which is actually safer. which shows how sort of so much happens on this desk, how touch and go it can be here. But yeah, they're off also, so I can work on this. Now on this piece, if I just take the superstructure off, that's still fully removable. And I'll try and get it to focus. There we go. You'll notice there's orange everywhere around the base of this. Now in previous updates, what I haven't pointed out, but well, you won't notice it either because it's such a tiny detail. There is a little sort of, I don't know what to call it, we'll call it a skirting board, which runs along the base of this piece. And there wasn't one around the front of this hatch, but I painted it on anyway for some reason. Which on some lifeboats is the same colour as the deck, and on some lifeboats is the same colour as the superstructure. I'm not quite sure why. I think that's just the mechanic or whoever maintains the boat painting it how they like, basically. And on some photos it's grey, some photos it's orange. And what I originally painted it was grey, which is the same grey as the deck, Humbrol 27. I'm building a model of, this is going to be Plymouth's Severn class lifeboat eventually. And that's, on Plymouth's, it's orange. So I've had to try and paint orange over grey, which isn't brilliant. So there's been about 4 or 5 coats, and now it is there. I think you can't really see that there was grey underneath, so I'm gonna mask all this off and it will go where it's all splashed over. That will go back to grey, but this whole piece here will be orange now rather than having a little grey band along the bottom of it. So apart from those two things, on the hull itself, not too much has happened. I'm hoping soon to get more of the hull painted, and I think a tiny bit of this sort of edging has been done since the last update, but very little. So I'm hoping to get all this done in 28, matte 28, and then the handrails can go on. Once all of that's done, the handrails can go back on here, and the handrails will go on at the back for the first time. So, most of the work that's happened on the superstructure is, of course, this top bit. Now, this is the upper steering position, which is reached by, from the back here, there's a door, and there's ladders going up there, and the Y-boat sits here, which you saw me complete in the last update. And then the upper steering position is here, so they can drive the boat from up here when the weather's not too bad. In fact, they only actually drive the boat from inside the wheelhouse in really bad, rough weather, because the visibility, as you can see all the way round, it's so much better from up top. So when they're mooring up or anything, they'll use this. So this is built up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts, I think, roughly. So there's this front part which goes around here, there's these 2 side panels, and then there's a top panel, and an inner panel there, and then there's these 2 sort of boxes that go on the end, which will build up to get to the mast. Before we get to the mast, we have the steering wheel here, which is really cute little tiny steering wheel. That will go right in the middle there, which I've just dropped, and it won't come out now. There we go. So I'll put that away safely again over there. And I'm going to paint all of the instruments. You can see little squares and stuff around here. They would be screens and stuff. So I'm going to bring all of them up in black. And hopefully this will be a really nice little detailed piece. On the front here, it has, I think it's a solar panel actually. So that's going to be brought up in black because that's black in real life, and all these other little funny things that go around on the roof. And the one other thing that's happened just before we go up onto the aerials is this. Now these are the little, I don't know what to call them, shocks that the Lifeboat sits on whilst it's not in use. And when I painted the grey, I painted all over them and it wasn't brilliant. So I've masked all this off and done it properly. As you can see, it now has nice neat orange edges and grey edges around them. They're not perfect by any means. If I could get any closer without losing focus, you could probably see that the edges are a little squiff, especially up in this corner. However, it's good enough, and it's a lot better than it was. However, once again, I've had to paint orange over grey, so it's had 200 coats, and that took a very long time to do. But yeah, we are again there. And another thing I've just realised, the filler. In the last update, this was all filler on these corners, because you remember the pieces didn't fit properly. So that's all been painted orange, at the same time that I painted all this orange. This needs a few more coats of orange yet before it's ready, and especially in there, I need to mask that all off and do it properly. I need to do a bit of research to know. You can see there's a bit under this main box, so I don't know if that's going to be grey or orange yet. So yeah, it's little things like that which take research, which takes ages to find the right photos and stuff. But yeah, we get there eventually, and I think it's definitely worth it because I need this. Well, I don't need this, but I want this model to be as realistic as possible. So I keep saying before we go up onto the aerials, and I was just about to go up onto the aerials, but one more thing is these little thing. Now you won't know what this is yet probably, but it has another white prong which should be coming out of here. That's because when I painted it, when I painted the black, I masked up all the black. No, when I painted the black, I masked up all of the white handrails. I then just took the masking tape off, as you do when it was done, and the masking tape, I don't know, there was something wrong with it, but it would set solid almost. The glue just would not come off on the tape, and I couldn't get it off at all. So I ended up breaking off this little extra prong which goes there, and even when I broke this off, I still couldn't get the masking tape off it, so I spent 10 minutes trying to get the masking tape off this little strange thing. And you're probably still shouting at me, asking what exactly it is. Well, you see in there, there's two little circles. These two small prongs go in there, and they're a little bit bent at the moment. And it actually goes, no, it goes that way up, sorry. So that stands there, and then there's basically cushions that the driver, coxswain, person, whoever's driving can lean up against. So finally, moving up onto the mast, here is the base sort of piece, and then we have the, ooh, dropped it, very fiddly to make these two pieces. Here is the upper piece, and that piece goes on there somehow like that, if I remember rightly. So you end up with this funny looking aerial which gives away a lifeboat. Funny, all the RNLI, sort of current RNLI lifeboats have this sort of ladder aerial thing that isn't actually a ladder, and then it has this very sort of random but quite nice little thing that comes out in all directions, which flags are hung off, and there's lights. Actually that little piece coming down there is a light, so that will be painted blue, and these bits coming up will be painted the same matte black as these. Matte black is now quite easy for me to paint. I don't have to get any humble thinners or whatever to clean brushes because I have some acrylic. So although acrylic, I don't know, some people think it doesn't have such a nice finish as enamels. I find it nice just because it is so much easier. You can wash the brush and then move on to another colour. It will dry so much quicker. Everything about it is so much quicker and easier. So anyway, this goes on there, like that, and that's going to be fun trying to glue. But yeah, that goes on there like that. And this little white box will have the radar coming out of it. So if we go up to the actual box, you can see that sort of thing going across there. That is the radar, and the white box under it is this nice little white box. Trying to focus, sorry. There we go. So yeah, that goes on there like that, and then this will go on top of it, and that will be very oh no, not that way up, sorry. That'll be a very nice detailed piece once finished. So there you go. That's a update. That's all for this update. Not too much has happened, but hopefully more will over the coming months, and hopefully it won't be 6 or 9 months or whatever until the next update. And I'm not going to put this on properly because it's a bit fiddly. I'm just going to leave that like that. Those of you who are watching properly, you'll be able to see that this wasn't put on properly. Anyway, so there's one last thing, which is this little thing. That's a crane, another little crane that goes on the side here. And there's another one for the other side. It's half painted so far, as you can see. It's sort of grey on one little prong arm thing. But anyway, that's one last thing that's being ready to go on. And then, for those of you who don't know about lifeboats, that comes down to pick a person up out of the water. So yeah, they're quite nice little additions. So yeah, that's really it. Lifeboat hasn't changed, that's quite nice, still the same. So yeah, I'm running out of battery on my camcorder. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you all again soon. So bye.